In the second half of the hour, we are going to be speaking with two residents of Elkader. I'm going to make that mistake. Elkader, Iowa, the only town in the United States named after an Arab. And, of course, it is named after Emir Kader. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to speak with Frederique Boudouani. He's the president of the Sister City program of Elkader, and we're also going to speak with Ed Olson. He's the former mayor of Elkader, Iowa, and he founded the Sister City program of Elkader. So that's going to be when we come back. But first, I need to do a little station ID, let you know that you're listening to KWMR 90.5 in Point Reyes Station, 89.7 in Bolinas. We're also streaming around the world tonight at www.kwmr.org. And programming on KWMR is brought to you by Edward Pohlman Construction in Bolinas. Specializing in environmental design, Edward Pohlman Construction, 868-2727. That's 868-2727. So now let's take a short musical break, and when we come back, I'll be speaking with the president and the founder of the Sister City program of Elkader, Iowa, with Mascara Algeria, here on Sufism, the Heart of Islam. Welcome back to Sufism, the Heart of Islam. I'm your host, Wendy McLaughlin, and with me on the line are Frederique Boudouani. Assalamu alaikum, Frederique.
Salam wa rahmatullah. Thank you for having me, Wendy.
Thank you for being with us. And Ed Olson, former mayor of Elkader, Iowa. Hi, Ed.
Good evening. Greetings from Elkader, Iowa.
Thanks so much. So as I said in the first half of the show, Elkader, Iowa is the only town in the United States, and you guys might correct me, named after an Arab. Is that right?
That's a Muslim leader, I would say.
Muslim leader, okay. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's the only one, and we just spent the last half hour talking with John Kaiser about the book, so now I wanted to talk with you guys about this little town of 1,500 out in the middle of Iowa named after this Sufi sheikh. So maybe I'll begin with you, Ed. You're the former mayor of Elkader, Iowa, and can you tell us the story of how this town in Iowa came to be named after a Sufi sheikh?
Well, back when Elkader was being established, it was founded by three men, and one of them, of course, was Timothy Davis. And Timothy Davis was an attorney from Dubuque that came up buying land in this area, which was pretty much a wilderness along the Turkey River. And he saw what he liked and got his partners, John Thompson and involved in it, and they came up and purchased the land. Through the process, Timothy Davis had been following the heroics of the Emir Kader, and when it came to naming the community, his partners asked him to come up with a name. So in the process, of course, knowing that there might be a problem pronouncing Abdul Kader, they Americanized it and came up with the name Elkader.
That's really interesting. What do you think the townspeople thought when they got the name, or was he very well known at that point because of his exploits in Algeria?
Of course, back in those days, they relied on weekly newspapers,
right.
And it's my understanding that national news was published on a sheet and sent from the large cities out to the small town publishers, and that's how they got their national news. So it's our understanding that that's how that information about Abdul Kader was transmitted around the nation.
And at that point, that was probably, I imagine it was after the time that President Abraham Lincoln sent a gift of 2 revolvers to Abdul Kader.
Well, that was following his heroic rescue of the 12,000 Christians in Damascus.
Right.
And I was privileged in 1984. The Algerian government discovered that our community was named after Abdul Kader.
Wait, let's not go there yet. We'll talk about that in just a second, Ed.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I want to get to Frederique. You are yourself Algerian. You're born in Algeria.
Correct.
Yet you are now a resident of Elkader.
That's right. It's my home now.
How did you come to live in Elkader, Iowa, from Algeria?
Well, first of all, to all your Muslim listeners, I would like to wish them Eid Mubarak in this evening.
Yes, thank you.
And then for the non-Muslims, happy holidays, because that's what Eid Mubarak literally means. So, and it's kind of timely. But it was interesting. My itinerary and how I end up in Elkader, it came after September 11th of 2001. Undoubtedly, it was a horrific event to all of us, but it was particularly hard for anybody who had a connection with that part of the world. So in my own way, trying to make sense of it, I decided to go on this little quest and research the history of Islam in the United States. In doing that, to my great surprise, I discovered that the first mosque in the nation was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Now, how did that get there? The first mosque in the nation is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. How did that come about? 'Cause that's certainly unexpected.
Absolutely, and it was kind of a surprise to me as well. How it happened is that at the late 1800, it was sort of the end of the Ottoman Empire in a way, and the Ottoman armies used to go to villages and towns in the Middle East and literally draft men into the Ottoman Empire's army without really their consent. They didn't have a say in it. So a lot of young men from that part of the world, what is today Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, ended up sort of decided to seek a new life rather than serve the Ottoman Empire, because not everybody believed in it. So a lot of them ended up coming to the New World. It's a theme that's universal, really. And one of the first families that ended up in Cedar Rapids came from the Bekaa Valley in Lebanon, and they ended up in Iowa. And it was interesting, a little ironic anecdote. A lot of them worked as farmhands for German farmers, and they spoke German before they spoke any English. They thought German was the language of the land.
Wow.
So they were there for several decades, and then they decided to have sort of a place where they could all meet. They started by thinking about sort of a cultural center, and that evolved into a place of worship